Hello from the bottom of the garden, it's Joanna here, and yeah, the sun is setting and it is nearly the end of May. In France at the moment it's what's called Ascension, Ascension. We don't have that in England, and it's kind of a big holiday for the French. But I thought I would talk about meditation a bit more. I've done 2 or 3 other videos, so you can click on those if you're interested. And but yeah, this one, I'll just go quickly through meditation, what I get out of it. So one of the things is joyfulness, blissfulness, absolute contentedness. I could sit there for hours in that place. Not that I do very often, but I feel like I could. Sometimes I get delicious physical sensations in my body. Sometimes I get this slight jerkiness. I get that less now, where it's kind of my energy is rising up. It's a moment where it's not the everyday. It's not, you know, making the breakfast or doing the school run or something. And it's just kind of that stillness that's separate to the everyday. And I think when you're doing a bit of meditation every day, it's really good, because when you're doing your everyday, you can connect back and know that that's a possibility, the meditation and the sitting in stillness. It's always there as an option, and you know, I plan to do it in my day. It's something that I want to include because I enjoy it and it gives me so much. And from what I get from meditation, I am able to give outwards to more people, because I am calmer, I am more joyful, I am more happy, I am more smiley. You know, I can stand back and I can be part of conversations more fully with others. Gosh, that butterfly's still there. And before I used to be so distracted, and I didn't have the energy so much for other people, and there would be much more minimal energy that I'd be giving to them. The mosquitoes are coming out. Quick, cover yourself up. And it's so amazing to be able to really connect with people. Here I have to put more effort in because it's in a different language, and then I have to, you know, say things back in French, which makes me think quite a lot, because, you know, I was native speaker and now I'm not. But that's another story. So yeah, just kind of getting energy from others because I'm giving and they're able to give more because I can give more to them. And it's just kind of this, it doesn't really feel like a taking, you're just give, and it feels so nourishing. And I remember in conversations I used to want to close it off sooner. I feel like I didn't have the time for that conversation, or feel like it wasn't very important, so what's the point in particularly listening to what that person's saying to me? And I noticed that as soon as I changed that and became more open and kind of willing, and had that kind of space for people that I didn't even know, that I would just, my relationships with people became much deeper, much more quickly, kind of more full. I would learn so much more about them. They would in turn learn so much more about me, and it became a much more kind of enriching experience for them and for me. And within that, it completely takes away that kind of feeling of loneliness that a lot of people feel. You know, they feel disconnected from others. They feel disconnected from their surroundings. And that goes away when you just kind of open up and give just willingly in whatever way that you can in that moment, in that space. And that was just, oh my God, I'll tell you a little story. So there was this gentleman that I worked with in a school in England, and he was not that far off retiring, and he was doing ICT, and I thought, oh, you know, he's not going to be here long, because he was a step-in kind of supply teacher. And I was like, at first I was like, oh, you know, there isn't much point in me putting much effort into this relationship. You know, even though he was in my office space a lot and things. And then I started doing inner engineering with Satguru, and I started thinking about everything completely differently. Within the space of kind of 1, 2 to 7 days, I was a completely changed person from doing inner engineering. And I was kind of trying out all these new things with people, and with him I was just like, there was one conversation when something changed, and he was talking to me about programming, computer programming, and I don't know anything about it. I know very little about computers, and I decided not to switch off, and I decided to listen very carefully and to give everything that I could with it, and I started to learn things from him, and he was a complete fountain of knowledge. And from that came more conversations about where he used to live, in this amazing place where he could pick his own avocados fresh in his garden. And I was just like, oh my God. And if I'd have shut off at, you know, near the beginning of the conversation, I wouldn't have learned half of the things that I learned about him. And I just realised, you know, this man actually, you know, in his early 60s, has so much knowledge to give to me, and so many experiences that I can learn from him through us talking. And actually, when he had to go, I felt like he'd become a really good friend, and I felt sad when he left. I was like, things are going to be really different when he's gone. And, you know, if in that one conversation when I thought, oh, I could shut off here, I could have continued shutting off every time that he came in the room, and every time that he spoke to me I could have just switched off. And I probably have done that in my life quite a lot in the past, and I think a lot of people do that. And coming back to that loneliness, it's that switching off, and it's so easy just to decide, I'm not going to press that switch button, I'm going to leave it switched on, and I'm going to listen, and I'm going to see where this goes. You know, where is this going to take me? It's like today, I was at a market. It was a dead market. It's a tiny market. It's kind of dying, nothing happening really. There's a few locals, not interested in what I'm doing particularly, but this woman came along, and we had the most amazing conversation, and she ended up coming around to my house tonight. And we had a cup of fresh mint tea with her 2 sons, talked about meditation, talked about all sorts of things, and she might end up being a new friend of mine, and she lives not far away. And, you know, if I hadn't have allowed that conversation to blossom at the market, and maybe I could have been annoyed because, you know, there was no one there, and, you know, there was not much going on, that conversation might not have happened. And so, yeah, what can you learn from that? My ramblings of yoga at the bottom of the garden. If you're enjoying this, then please do subscribe and click the red button. Inscrit if you can understand English and you're in France. And I'll see you again soon. Bye.